Okay, so today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Drew Urquhart. He is an awesome business owner, and we're super excited to have him talking about his business and also everything that he's done with ambassador and influencer marketing strategy up until this point and kind of how that's helped him grow. So, Drew, I'm going to let you start off, take it away, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business and kind of how you got to where you are right now, and a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so I started up my business, a clothing line, God the Father Apparel, right around 9 months ago now. I've run a couple stores in the past, and so I know my way around Facebook ads. I know my way around how to create a Shopify store. Another bit about me is I run a digital marketing agency now, and so I've run Facebook ads. I've worked for bigger agencies in the past, and so that's kind of a background on me in terms of the last year.
Awesome, awesome. And remind me, like, kind of where are you in your stage of life? Did you go to college? Are you out of college? Like, where are you right now?
Yeah, I graduated 2 years ago. Started out in 2014. Went to the University of Vermont for 4 years, and graduated with a degree in business and entrepreneurship.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So your current store, God the Father, what
Yeah.
is it? Like, what's your brand? Tell me a little bit about what you sell, who you're targeting. Just give me the rundown of your business.
Yeah, so it's Christians who are looking to spread God's name and God's word with the world without having to open up their mouth. That's kind of the reason why I started. I'm a Christian. I'm not an outspoken Christian. I'm not one to go and kind of talk someone's ear off. So for me, I wanted there to be a way where my friends could know that I was a believer and kind of get that message across without being awkward or pushy. I feel like that's always the line that Christians have to walk. And so I think clothing is a great way to just speak without speaking. And it's kind of resonated pretty well in the Christian community here. It's been 9 months, and it's grown quite fast. And so for me, it's been great. And I think we've stuck to that brand message pretty wholeheartedly. I'm not very streetwear. I'm not very apparel driven, but I know how to do my research, and I found some designs that work well and people like. And so far, it's been working pretty well that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely relate. I know you're from Canada, right?
Yeah, Vancouver.
I don't know how much you know about like the south of the US, the Bible Belt is what they call it, but
Mhm.
we're from Mississippi, so I live in the
Nice.
Bible Belt and I was raised a Southern Baptist. So I
Yep.
know everything that you're saying about like the kind of the wall that Christians face in that way. And so I
Yep.
think the idea behind your clothing is really cool because like you said it's a more like gentle and subtle way
Right.
to be bold in your faith than like, going and coming across as pushy. So I really like that idea. It's a really cool kind of story that you have behind your brand. You've worked with Buzzbassador. You're obviously running like influencer marketing, ambassador
Yep.
marketing strategy. So how does that tie in with your brand? Like how do you have that set up and kind of how are you using that to grow?
I went down the influencer route where you send people free stuff and you hope to get stuff back, and it never worked out for me well. And so for me, it was all micro influencers. And if you can flick a switch in a customer's mind where they don't necessarily feel like they're purchasing from you, but they're almost investing in themselves and they're investing in the brand, and they feel like they are a part of the team, a part of the brand, it's a lot easier to kind of get that purchase and for them to flick that switch. And so ambassadors was perfect for that. So essentially, to take you through the funnel, I guess I run ambassador ads where we essentially make people apply to become an ambassador, and almost every single one will get accepted. I think it's like 99% approval rate for us. And so lots of them will purchase at a discount, that discount being 20%. So it still allows the business to grow. We can still purchase everything and make a little bit of money to where the ambassador gets a discount, Facebook ads gets their portion, and then we also get our portion for running the business and keeping it afloat. But running those brand ambassador ads has been sometimes up to like 15, 20 times our money. And so when you can flick that switch and make someone feel like they're a part of your team, that's when it's crucial. And then they're invested because we give them an option to then make money back. They get a code. When they share that code and people use it, we pay them instead of paying Facebook essentially. So we found some pretty solid people who bring in some good money. essentially the money who we would pay to Facebook, we just pay right to them. And so diversifying that is really important as well, because Facebook ads, they're wishy-washy if you're doing too much or too little, and then sometimes they'll block you for a week and then your sales go to nothing. And so to diversify that through having, I think we have around 4,000 ambassadors now. And so having those people to kind of constantly push when we're having launches and when we launch new things, that's probably the coolest thing. Is when we have big launches, we try to do limited drops. And so those ambassadors will see it, and our Instagram will blow up on days of launches, just because so many people are adding us and trying to make their codes known. And so yeah, it's awesome. I think the ambassador programs, well, I know the ambassador program's just been absolute game changing. Like, it's definitely kept us afloat and kept us growing.
That's awesome. And do you have any numbers that you feel comfortable sharing of like how you saw your business grow from before using ambassadors to now? Like, it can be revenue, customer count, anything that you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, so the first month, I think we brought in around $5,000, and I think we spent like 15 to generate that. And so obviously that came out at a loss. In the first 4 months, it was kind of that exact template, except slowly making more than we were spending. And the second we turned on the brand ambassador ad, it was, I think our cost per purchase was around $20 before, and the second we turned it on day one, it was around $450 for a purchase. And so obviously that's a massive cut in our spend, and our ROI went way through the roof. And so the first month we did it, we brought in around 50,000. So obviously 5 to 50,000 on this a very similar ad spend is game changing in a good way. And so then it actually brought up a lot of problems, because I was running this out of a spare bedroom in my parents' house at the time. And so I was pre-pressing. I was pressing every shirt to kind of, I didn't want to order bulk inventory. I didn't have space for it. And so I ordered a heat press. I did transfer vinyls. I cut them all out. I literally worked and pressed t-shirts for 10 hours a day. I quickly figured out that was not sustainable. And so just last month, we got a warehouse in downtown Vancouver, which is cool to say. I mean, it's crazy, because we're taking up this warehouse now that used to be in my parents' spare bedroom, all because of ambassador ads. It's insane. And so now this month, we pulled in 85,000. And we spent 15,000 to get to that point. And so the ROI is pretty darn good. But yeah, 85 this year, or sorry, this month. And so definitely profitable in terms of that.
Yeah, that's incredible to go from 5,000 to 85,000 a month. And pretty much all you change is ambassadors, right? Like, you just turned on ambassador ads. Is that like the bulk of your marketing strategy right now?
Right now, it's almost all of it, just because, I mean, we've tried Google ads and different Facebook ads, but it's just, when you know that something's bringing you back a 15 to 20 times ROI, and then this one's bringing you back 3, it almost just feels like you're wasting money at that point in time. And so I do about, I think 95% of it's all into this ambassador ad right now. The other one's just being, I guess we do a lot of email marketing. We have a lot of drip campaigns. But a lot of that's automated, and we do 2 big emails a month. And so that's the other 5%, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's really incredible. So I'm sure, growing that much in what seems like a fairly short amount of time, and going, I think you said you have like 4,000 ambassadors right now. So going from
Yeah.
0 to 4,000, it's probably super hard to like manage all of those people. And that's, I'm assuming, why you started looking for a solution like Buzzbassador. So kind of
Right.
walk me through that thought process. Like, what was it like when you scaled that quickly and all of a sudden you had all these people and things that you needed to do? Like, what was going through your head? What made you seek out that type of solution?
It's a really good question, because like you said, when you spike so fast, you don't have anything implemented. And so I was kind of bootlegging it, and I purchased this custom, or this massive discount app. And so I was able to put a lot of discount codes into something. I'd have to pay $1 every time I wanted to do it, and I would send them through Google Forms to create it. And it was just, the moving parts were like, it was way too much. And so to have everything that you have to kind of remember on top of running another business as well. I drove myself insane having all these different avenues, and sometimes I forget to do this, and there's 30 emails now, and it's Buzzmaster essentially brings the entire funnel, the sign up, the codes, everything I needed to do. It just brings into one platform, and it automates a lot of it. And so Buzzmaster was awesome for that, because form signups and then keeping track of whose codes are used, and then the actual codes that they want and the accounts created, and like 7 or 8 different avenues. It brings it into one app instead of having to purchase 7 or 8 apps, or keep track of 7 or 8 different funnels. And so that was perfect for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad that Buzzmaster was a help for you, like when you were going through all of that struggle of like trying to scale everything so quickly. I know you have a course right now, right? You said you're kind of doing, is that like a part of your digital marketing that you're doing?
Yeah, it goes through every single step of the process, and yeah, essentially, I did exactly what I did for my business, and I put it into a course essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Calvin, my business partner, was watching the course the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
night and heard when you shouted out Buzzmaster, and he was like, "Oh, he shouted out Buzzmaster. That's so cool." So, what makes you recommend Buzzmaster? Like, what's your favorite part about it that is like worthy of that recommendation to the people that are following your course?
Yeah, I think, well, it's so well branded. So props to you guys, because a lot of those stores, or sorry, a lot of those apps on Shopify kind of do three of, like I was saying, the funnel of the 7 or 8 things that I need an app to do. It would do 3 or 4 of those, and it wasn't super customizable. And so I'd have to link 2 different apps into one. And Buzzmaster came across, one, is the most trustworthy. It was well branded, and then two, the video really sold me in all the customizable features, and it essentially sold me on those 7 features. It was an app that could do everything that I needed it to do, and so it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Last question, and we'll leave on this. So, for those people that might be watching this that are in e-commerce, whether they've been doing it for a while or whether they're just now starting out, if they hear this interview and they're like, "Okay, he scaled huge with ambassadors. That sounds like something I need to do right now. How do I get
Yeah.
started?" What is your advice to those people?
I mean, first would be to find an app, and obviously, I would recommend Buzzmaster. I think find an app that can do everything that you need. So someone needs to be able to fill out a form. They need to be able to create a code. They need to be accepted, and then they need to purchase. And so if I was a new store and I wanted to set up this funnel, Buzzmaster is essentially going to do that for you. And so if you can go download Buzzmaster, and then if you can kind of combine that Facebook ads strategy, and in getting your form filled out hundreds of times a day, even if you're spending $20 a day, like I would always recommend to spend 50 to $60 a day, just because you're going to get out of that learning phase as soon as possible. But if you can figure out Facebook ads, and you can download Buzzmaster and essentially just combine those 2 things, it's I mean, I'm doing it for, I think, 22 stores right now, and I haven't had one store that's not been profitable with it. So it's almost, I don't say it's guaranteed, but it's almost guaranteed. If you can figure out the Facebook ads and the Buzzmaster combination, you're golden.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's really great advice. One last thing, Drew, go ahead and plug your store, plug your course, give a shameless plug to anything that you want to look you up on.
Yeah, so I guess the digital marketing agency I run is called benchmarketing.com. We run Facebook ads, we do social media, we do a lot of different things, but website creation and Facebook ads is our bread and butter essentially. And then the Shopify store, if you're a Christian and you want to wear your faith, you can look us up. We're godthefather.ca or godthefatherapparel.com. And then also, if you wanted to take the course and figure out how to do Facebook ads and Buzzmaster and join them into one, it's on benchmarketing.com. It'll just be in the link, courses on the top.
Thank you so much for your time, Drew, and we wish you the best of luck with everything going forward with God the Father, your course, your digital marketing agency, all of your cool ventures. We wish you the best of luck with everything. And again, thanks for your time. Hope you have a great rest of your day.